And can we do something different, making the request? So in his book, on page 71, he says, I would like to present the conversation that I would invariably have during my practice as a clinical psychologist with the many clients who came to me with complaints of depression. After I empathize with the depth of feeling that a client had just expressed, our exchanges would typically proceed in the following manner. So, what are you wanting that you are not receiving? Marshall says to his client. I don't know what I want. I guess that you would say that. Why? My theory is that we get depressed because we're not getting what we want. And we're not getting what we want because we have never been taught to get what we want. Instead, we have been taught to be good little boys and girls and good mothers and fathers. If we're going to be one of those good things, better get used to being depressed. Depression is the reward we get for being good. But if you want to feel better, I'd like you to clarify what you would like people to do to make life more wonderful for you. The client says, I just want somebody to love me. That's hardly unreasonable, is it? It's a good start. Now, I'd like you to clarify what you would like people to do that would fulfill your need to be loved. For example, what could I do right now? Oh, you know. I'm not sure I do. I'd like you to tell me what you would like me or others to do to give you the love that you're looking for. That's hard, the client says. Yeah, I think pretty much that's what all of us would have said. That's hard, a hard question. Marshall says, yes, it can be difficult to make clear requests, but think how hard it will be for others to respond to our request if we're not even clear what it is. Client, I'm starting to get clear what I want from others to fulfill my need for love. I'm starting to get clear on it, but it's embarrassing. Yes, very often it is embarrassing. So what would you like for me or others to do? If I really reflect upon what I'm requesting when I ask to be loved, I suppose what I want is for you to guess what I want before I'm even aware of it. And then I want you to always do it. I'm grateful, Marshall says, I am grateful for your clarity. And I'm sure that client was grateful for his own clarity too, because now they could both see. I hope you can see how you're not likely to find someone who can fulfill your need for love, if that's what it takes. And so a miracle happened with that conversation, didn't it? And the many conversations that he had with many people, because the client was free. What am I thinking? I need to talk what I need. I need to talk what I feel. I've lost friends because we weren't able to talk to each other. And so now when I make a new friend that I cherish and love, I say, let's make a pact. You and I, let's agree. Will you agree with me that we will talk to each other? No matter how hard it is. No matter how scared we are, because we hate conflict, don't we? But guess what? It always shows up. It's not a matter of if, but got to get good at communicating. Or else, do you want to lose another friend? It'll happen. If you can't say what it is that's in your mind, love will experience another defeat. And that's sad. I mean, we can turn it into good, learn our lessons, and pray for the person that we are now no longer friendly with, and make the best of it that we can. But the best thing that we can is to learn so much from it that we never lose a friend like that again for that reason, that we couldn't talk to each other. That makes sense? I think of my husband, my lovely, beautiful, gorgeous man, poetic man, my treasure, and we have conflict. What? How'd that happen? And so when we do, our personalities get in the way of our channeling pure love to one another. My thing to do is to go sit with it. Go sit with myself. Go to headquarters, right? Charles Fillmore. That was his line. Go to headquarters. I was going to say something else and it just flitted out. But anyways, I was going to make the point that it's not just marriage and partnership that we need to go sit with the relationships that are important to us. Spiritual community, this beautiful place, we're building wonderful relationships. We need to do that kind of honest, gut-wrenching work with each other. Because we're building here. We're building love. We're love on the move. So it is also in spiritual community where we need to bring the gift of working our own stuff, which first of all means owning it. To develop skills, we need to do that. We need to develop skills, for example, nonviolent communication, that allow us to identify our feelings, communicate them after having owned them, communicate compassionately for self and other, and to presume that each person in our community is doing their best with what they've got. And so we can be that forgiving person 70 times 7, because we're just going to assume that you're doing your best, I'm doing my best. So the forgiveness can keep flowing. Along with the communication that Marshall Rosenberg teaches us about is something I thought of today. Language is vital. Using I statements. How often do you hear people or hear yourself say, you feel so sad when you lose friends? Let's use honest language, people. I feel so sad when I lose friends. Does that make sense? Henry Nouwen, a Jesuit priest and writer of spiritual and theological themes, says this in Circles of Love. Friendship, marriage, family, religious life, and every other form of community is solitude greeting solitude. Spirit speaking to spirit, and heart calling to heart. Community has little to do with mutual compatibility. Similarities in educational background, psychological makeup, or social status can bring us together, but they can never be the basis for community. Community is grounded in God, who calls us together. and not in the attractiveness of people to each other. There are many groups that have been formed to protect their own interests, to defend their own status, or to promote their own causes, but none of this is a Christ-like community. Instead of breaking through the walls of fear and creating new space for God, they close themselves to real or imaginary intruders. The mystery of community is precisely that it embraces all people, whatever their individual differences may be, and allows them to live together as brothers and sisters of Christ and daughters and sons of the Heavenly Father. That's already new one. Very wise person. To be in action with the truth we know and profess our second principle that all people are expressions of the divine source of life, God, love, whatever name we give to our spiritual oneness, no matter how different they appear, no matter how scared we are of their differentness, let's push through that fear. You're different, yeah, and okay, let me get to know you with my power of curiosity. Tell me about yourself. Tell me, show me. And then, let's say there's two people, Susie and Sally. Susie lets down her guard a little bit. Sally's going to let down her guard a little bit. Sally lets down her guard a little bit. Susie, thanks. Susie's going to let down her guard a little bit. And it's a sweet circle instead of the vicious circle at work. A beautiful love circle on the move. Letting your guard down, even I'm going to make up a new word, micro-minimally. Just very small movements and letting your guard down is a huge, important step towards being love on the move. And letting your guard down and making those little decisions to do that every time vulnerability asks you to make a decision to do so is an important spiritual work you may want to consider practicing this week, because you are love on the move. Always. You woke up this morning that way. Well, let's take this into meditation. Breathing deeply, filling your belly. Releasing, exhaling, even deeper than making your exhales longer than your inhales. Exhale fully. And breathing in all the love. And breathing out all the love. And breathing in all the love. Breathing out all the love. And let's go into the silence for a few minutes. Let's connect with your most sacred self, your most vulnerable self, and just be at peace with yourself. And coming back to this time, space, reality, completely refreshed, knowing what we are, trusting what we are, loving what we are, being what we are, being truth. Amen. It is so.
Joseph stood beside them, thinking this so hard, that this tiny infant was the Son of God. Heaven then was silent, the angel wings were stilled in awe. Joseph kissed her forehead, Mary held the infant close, and love was born.
Thank you, Mariette, for that lovely talk. And just a quick note, I'm really honored that I'm able to see your evolution as not only as a teacher, but also a profound speaker. Thank you. And of course, I want to thank our wonderful musicians, Michael and Charlene. It's always a joy to hear you.
So now it's time for our vision, mission, and statement of being, which are shown on the screen.
We have a global vision. Will you please speak it with me? Our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
And we have a sacred mission. Please say this with me. We inspire and empower spiritual growth to awaken us and transform the world.
And finally, we have a personal statement of being. Will you please say it with me? I am a dynamic center of the Christ light, mighty to unfold my good and radiate that good to all. And we have a few announcements to let you know about.
Visit our bookstore and browse the extensive collection. There are some great Christmas ideas. I am so pumped about this bookstore. We have like at least 1,400 books that came in. So if I want a book on, anything, but, when I go to the books, what is it, Indigo. Okay, so I'm looking for something on Jesus, or I'm looking for something on spiritual growth, or I'm looking for something on self-help, and I can't hardly find anything. It's all in the bookstore. So, I got 4 books the other day, and there's so much there, and at really great prices, but it's just the selection is so wonderful. So I would urge you to, browse around and pick up books for people. You can say, here, I think you would enjoy this book. All kinds of stuff. It's really great.
But we don't have lottery numbers up there. We have waiting for the slide. We have an Advent discussion group led by licensed Unity teachers on Wednesday at 2 p.m. on Zoom for a discussion of the daily and weekly readings from A Christmas of Light and Love Advent book. We will be having our candlelight service on Monday, December 19th at 6 p.m.
And the social committee is hosting a potluck right after the candlelight service, so please bring your favorite dish to share.
It's time to get our children's Sunday school back up and running. We are looking for volunteers to work with our youth once a month during our Sunday service. If you enjoy working with kids, Reverend David would love to talk to you and to discuss how you could be a part of the new children's program.
And this year we are sponsoring a young single mother who has been off the streets and clean for 1 year. She is living in a new apartment with her son Damien, and our outreach team here at Unity is asking for your support to help Deanna and Damien have a joyful Christmas. Your generosity can make a difference in their lives this holiday season. The deadline for donations is Monday, December 19th. Please see our newsletter for more information. And I noticed that we have tags on the tree of things that they would like. So if anybody could take a tag and get something that's special to them, it'd be great. Okay, all along the nativity set at the bottom as well. Thanks.
And our speaker next Sunday, December 18th, will be our own Reverend David, and his talk is titled, The Gift of Joy.
I'd like to remind everyone that our prayer chaplain today is Susan Fabro, and Susan would count it a joy to have personal prayer with you upstairs today.
And please join us for fellowship and conversation directly after the service today in our fellowship hall upstairs. We will be celebrating the December birthdays with cake and refreshments. And all our classes, programs, services are made possible by your generous donations and our heartfelt thanks for your continuous support. We've created many ways to easily donate, which you can find on our website.
And we have a love offering box near the foyer with offering envelopes and pens where you can drop in your tithe or love offering as you leave the chapel. Again, thank you and bless you for your loving and generous support. Keeps us going.
And now we invite you to stand up and let us open our hearts and minds in gratitude as we close by speaking out our silently to ourselves our love offering prayer, followed by the peace song and closing with a prayer of protection. And our love offering blessing is, Divine love
love
in me and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. Return, family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us.
I am light.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am love.
The power of God protects us.
I am power.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am presence.
Wherever we are, God is.
I am divine.
Have a wonderful week.
And thank you for joining us today.